Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow bringing you guys another video. Regionals is finally over and I get to play something else other than Blackbeard. And I decided to play Yellow Kid for OP10. You see I ended up facing a Marco. I won dice roll and chose to go second. So they're opening up with their leader ability, which is attach one Don, draw the top card of the deck, and then put one at the top or one at the bottom. And they get something -2. So very good for control. Then they pass turn. I open up with the Straw Hat Luffy from OP10, which is going to allow me to search top 5 for a Supernova. And only find an X-Drake. Was really looking for the Basil there so that I can start doing what Kid wants to do, and essentially is forcing my opponent to trash their life. So after this, my opponent is going to do his leader ability once again, I believe. And he's basically just filtering cards, trying to dig deeper in the deck, give himself different options, and again, it's very good for removal because not only is your leader going to swing for 6 or do something for 2,000, it puts cards into range for, your new gate ability or divine departure, sneak peek. I take the life, and you do see it is a Basil Hawkins, which is exactly what I was looking for, so this is exactly how I wanted it to go. And he's going to play out Duval, which is a blocker. Let's look at the top 3 and organize it. So I'm going to start off with swinging 5k, and this is pretty much going to be the only life that he takes to hand. After that, I play out a Basil, use my leader ability to give the Basil Hawkins the blocker status. And I choose Basil specifically because the Luffy cannot be targeted, but the Basil has an on-KO effect to force my opponent to trash the top of their life. So at this point, they're going to be only playing off top deck if I can continuously force them to trash. And you do see my opponent playing out the Ivankov, which on play is going to allow him to play, I believe it's like a 2 or less from the top of the deck, and it ends up being Monet, which is also a very good card from this set. I believe it's activate main rest, give something 2 rested Don, and give something -1,000 attack. So very good for this combo of, reducing. And he's contemplating on whether this, doing leader ability, but also whether he wants to swing, but he chooses not to and passes because he does not want to let me trash his life. And then here, I kind of missequence stuff. I swing 5, and he could have definitely just taken this, and it would have ruined my plan, because now I'm going to play Nico Robin, and since he is at 3 life, it is going to prompt her ability to force him to trash the top of his life to the trash. And again, if he would have took the Basil, my turn would have been completely different because I wouldn't have been able to use the Nico Robin ability. And then I poke again with Kid for another 5, and he ends up countering out. Does not want to get any lower than he already is. Already at 2 life, and both of those cards was not able to use in hand. When typically, you give yourself more options or more counter. So pass turn to him. I believe now he's going to play down a 7-drop Newgate. Yep, so there's the SP. Beautiful SP. But that's going to have an on-play. Attach a Don to your leader. Or I'm not sure if it gives it to characters, but he attaches it to leader, which is now going to allow him to use his Marco leader ability to filter out a card from hand, or from the top of the deck as well. Give something -2, which is the Nico Robin, and it puts it in range for that Newgate's activate main ability. So he is able to clear the Nico Robin, which is unfortunate because that's how I was going to start pressuring him the next turn. And now uses the Monet ability to attach Rested Don to the Ivankov, and is going to allow him to draw off that when attacking ability. And I do counter out, and here he contemplates whether to swing at the Basil or at life. And he's going to choose to swing at my life, which is perfect because I needed to take the top card of my life since it is face up. It is not allowing me to restand the Basil Hawkins to be able to use the blocker ability for my leader. So after that, he passes turn, and at this point, we're just going to slam down an 8-drop Useless Captain Kid, which is an on-play rested character. Again, force my opponent to trash the life. But before that, we are going to go for board clear, since now I am going to be able to restand Basil. So I'm getting rid of that Monet to not allow him to have access to the 2 rested Don, and hoping to clear the Ivankov so he cannot continue to draw. So does save the Ivankov, and the Useless Captain Kid does hit the field, and it is another Newgate that he does not have access to, which would have been very bad if he did. But for my end of turn now, I'm going to use my leader ability to restand the Basil instead of the Kid. And I choose this specifically because of the on KO ability for Basil. So I can use it as a blocker, trash his last life, make it a lot easier to go for game next turn. And then Kid's ability is going to prompt as well, since he is now at 2 or less life, to draw a card and trash one. So again, filtering. I do find a Scratch Man Apu, which can be used to kind of stall out the game and pitch the Robin, because now it's just a vanilla. And you do see my opponent does kick the camera there. But now we're finally going to have a good angle. So sorry for that awkward angle that it has been this entire video. But now we have a normal side view. It was very packed that day. We were kind of by the bathroom, so that's why it was kind of in an awkward position. But nonetheless, we did pass turn to my opponent here. And here he's trying to find a way to be able to get rid of this useless Captain Kid. And that is basically going to be utilizing this leader ability to get that minus 2,000. And he is going to use the card that we talked about at the beginning of the video, and that is Divine Departure. Very good card. Can be used in many different ways. Not many, but just 2 different ways. It's either going to be a counter card for 1 Dawn for 3k, like a guard point, or for 1 Dawn, rest another 5, and you can KO an 8 cost or less. Essentially, the Kid Killer, because obviously you can get rid of that 8 cost wanted Kid in green. In this case, he did use the leader ability to cycle, his deck, cycle the top card, place it top or bottom, reduce the Kid by 2,000, and then Divine Departure to get rid of it. And here you do see he's starting to swing, and he's waiting and hoping that I will take the life to trigger out that Zoro onto the field so that he can KO it with the new gate. And I decided to block with the Basil because it's going to trash the last life here. And I do have Blaze Slice in my hand, which is going to be a 1 Dawn plus 1,000. And since my opponent is 2 or less life, I am going to be able to rest a blocker of 4 cost or less, or a 4 cost or less character. So you do see I counter out of the swings. Don't want to trigger out the Zoro. And he ends up prompting to KO the Luffy with the new gate instead of swinging that life, which is the correct thing to do. And here, I just so happen to have the answer of Blaze Slice to be able to rest that Duval blocker, attach the rest of the Dawn, and just go for game with my leader here. And he just had enough for 13k counter exactly, so very good on my part. Blaze Slice is an MVP. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys like the video, comment down below what you guys would like to see in a future video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.